Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Endless Courage. It has been a while since I posted. I know the last post I made was about Charlie Kirk. And I wanted to continue posting about what happened to him, but it seemed as though it was a lot of speculation. Someone was apprehended for the murder of Charlie Kirk, but that in itself, it's just a lot of speculation around that, and I just couldn't make sense of it. I know that the trial has started for the person that has been apprehended for killing Charlie Kirk, and so I could poke around, get some information. I don't know. I think this trial has started, but the big question is why? Why did this individual feel as though they, should take the life of Charlie Kirk? And also, what did Charlie Kirk being with Turning Point and doing interviews with individuals on college campuses, how much did that have to do, his stance and his beliefs, how much did that have to do with what happened to him? And so I just need to make sense of the information enough to bring it to you. So please be patient. Today, I want to talk about Nolan Wells. So this is an 18-year-old who was found washed up on the shores of a Mississippi. I think the name is Holland. Let me double check. Let's see. Let's go to the article really fast. Okay, 18-year-old. When news broke out about the mysterious death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells during a boat trip in Horn Island, Mississippi. So, without being because usually when I come on here, I bring the facts, right? And I just say the facts of what's out there in the public, the information that could be verified. But I just want to speculate about what happened for a minute. What I don't understand, right? If it was an accident, why wasn't the police called? Is there no reception in Horn Island, Mississippi? And as soon as it happened, right? If this was an accident, why wouldn't the group that he was in leave to go tell someone that, hey, this tragedy happened? Say he fell off the boat. And he drowned. And that's what happened. What is the harm in that if that's actually what happened? But I heard a recording that I'm gonna play.
Met that day, and it's kind of one of those things. It did come off that day that he really did like her, but that was the only time they'd ever hung out, was at Horn Island on July 4th.
And it's basically from, let's see, Nancy Grace. It's from one of the individuals that was on the boat with Nolan Wells. And I guess he's saying that he met a girl and he liked her, which, the person is saying that Nolan never knew the girl before the trip. He met her at Holland Island. And let me just make sure that I'm repeating that correctly. Horn Island. Excuse me. So, I feel like, this individual is straying from the point. The point is that no one reported that it was someone missing from the group. The group returned, and the mother of Nolan Wells was the one that reported him missing, was the one that was getting on social media, bringing attention to the fact that her son did not come back from a 4th of July trip. So, when I heard this story, which I didn't hear, but I heard about it through a family member. When I heard this story, it reminded me of Get Out. If anyone remembers the movie Get Out, one of the things that stuck out, and I'm just going to speak from someone from the Black community because I'm Black. The point of the movie is that this guy that had a white girlfriend went to visit her family and something happened. Now, he was out in the middle of nowhere. No one knew where he was but a friend. And thankfully that friend, because he lost contact with him, he came to see about his friend. But that was the whole point of the movie Get Out, was that when he realized the danger that he was in, the main character, he couldn't leave because he was under some sort of trance. And, a lot of, what I took from the movie and what others on social media took from the movie was, don't go out, in the middle of nowhere, with, someone that you believe that you know or are with, but you're surrounded predominantly with people that you don't know, white people. And in the movie, I believe, where he went, it was like in the South. I believe it was the family of the girlfriend they were from the South. And so, and then of course, there's a lot of speculation around this case. He was the only Black friend that was on the trip, surrounded with white, individuals that were there, that were supposed to be his friend. But how much of a friend were they if they can't even report that you're not there? On the voice clip that I'm going to play from Nancy Grace's video, and you should go check her out. I'm a very small channel, but she has more of the facts. She was actually able to talk to the organization that went to look and found Nolan Wells. So they helped search for him. But when on the voice clip, there's something that stuck out.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
And is everybody on board and good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
And basically it was, they were asked, is everyone accounted for? And the person that was on the trip confirmed that, yeah, everyone's here. But everyone was not there. And had Nolan Wells' mother not known that he went with this group, she really wouldn't know where her son is. Like, say he's, how teenagers are, young people are. They say they're going one place, but really they're doing something else. But Nolan must have thought that these were his friends enough to tell his parents, like, hey, I'm going with this group of friends. But how much of a friend were they when they couldn't even report that he's missing? If something happened, they didn't say what happened, and they returned like everything was just fine. It didn't make them nervous that there was one person less on the trip. If 10 people go and 9 people come back, how do you not report, hey, this 10th person didn't come back? How do you not, you don't think about his parents? You don't think that his parents were informed that he went on a trip with you guys, and his parents will be expecting him back around the time that you come back? So that's why this reminded me of the movie Get Out, because you just never know. He had been in the movie. He had been dating this girl, a white girl. He was a black man. But he didn't know her enough to know what her family was into. He didn't know her enough to know that he was in danger, that she was bringing him to a place that they have brought other black people to somehow manipulate their mindset and transfer the mind of some old white person. So I'm going to get more information. I'm going to dig, because this young man had a bright future. He was a football player. He was going to a community college. He was starting football. This was actually his break. The 4th of July trip that he went on was a break that he was supposed to take before he got into his, extracurriculars, his schoolwork, his classes, and also balancing that with his athletic, career. Maybe he wanted to go far in football, but we'll never know, because he's not around anymore, because his friends didn't deem him important enough to report that he was not there. If it was an accident, what do? You leave. You go tell someone, you go get help. Hey, someone went overboard. Or say he's separated from the group, you let someone know, hey, call his parents. Hey, Nolan decided to stay. He decided to not come back with us. This is what happened. You don't just leave. 10 people just don't leave and 9 come back and nobody knows what happened to the 10th person. That's just crazy. That's why I believe it's foul play. Something else happened on the island. And authorities in Mississippi and all over, everyone is asking for answers. Justice for Nolan Wells. What happened to Nolan Wells? Who was this girl that he met? If it was a girl. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to get this video up. And if you have any information, please, if you look up any article, there is on Nolan Wells, it's listed how you can get anybody on Horn Island in Mississippi, anyone that day around July 4th that has any information, please contact the proper authorities to let them know your side of what you heard, what you saw.